Hi everyone. Hello everyone. I can see people are watching. Just give me a thumbs up if I'm like properly audible and there is no glitch in the video. Just give me a thumbs up so I know that we are all set to go. Hello everyone. I hope you are properly able to hear me out and I'm audible properly. Just give me a thumbs up. Okay, so as scheduled, we are here today and we're going to start the live session. So from today, we're going to start a series called Watercolor Fundamentals. And today our topic is value study. So I know there are a lot of members in this group who are in I think we are a group of members with a very versatile time zone. So not everybody can watch it right now, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to post the video after this live session so that anybody who is missing it, they can easily access to the video. And I'll tag also with that tag everyone so that everybody get a notification once I post it. So for the new members in the group, if you're watching me, so this is Ambali Bhattacharya. I'm the founder of this group, and also I'm the founder of Ambali Fine Arts Academy. I am reviving this group after 1.5 years, and this is our first live session of 2026. And also pardon me for any background noise because I have 2 dogs and 1 small daughter. She's just 14 months, so there can be a little bit of background noise. So so coming back to the point, so this is our first live session of this year, and I have already posted in the group that I was not that much regular in the group. I was not able to, but now I'm all set, to buckle up and coming back to all the activities we used to do previously. So I'm starting with this. This is my very favorite topic. Something I love to do whenever I get a chance. I do a lot of thumbnail study, a lot of value study, and I thought let's start the session with something that I am really fond of doing also. And that's how it is. And I think without wasting much time, I will start the demo. So if you have any questions regarding my demonstrations, you can write it on the comment, or you can later on also when I will post it, you can write it on the comment box, or if you are really looking forward to make it with me, if you want to do it along with me, you are most welcome to do that. For that you need simple watercolor brushes and just one color, because the demonstration is all about monochromatic value study. So we just need a single color, that can be gray or dark gray, Payne's gray, or maybe a sepia, so, and a watercolor paper. So let's start, and let's see how it is going. And if you have any query, anything, you can just write it on the comment box, and after the live session I'll go through it. Or you can also send me on the messenger, because I know everybody is not comfortable asking questions in the group. So you can send me your questions or your query on the messenger as well. So I'll just flip the camera and let's start. So this is our topic today, and this is what I am going to demonstrate. This is my painting only, but I have just taken a print out of it. So before I start the painting, I want to explain the painting, and I want to read out the painting to you, so that it becomes little easier for you to understand what we are going to do, what is our purpose today of this live session, and how we are going to do it, what is the process. So this is a beautiful scene from we all know, from a very famous city, Venice. And this is a single color value study work. So this is called monochrome value study work. So before we begin the painting, let's slow down and really look into the painting, and what are the things are happening here and there. So since I said this is a monochromatic work, so that means we're going to use monochromatic, means when you are using single pigment. But today I'm going to use Rockwell's. I'm international brand ambassador for Rockwell, and I love this Rockwell self-evolving pigments. So I'm going to these are the pigments, you can see it here. These are the pigments, the name as it suggests, it's a self-evolving mineral watercolor pigment. So this has a very good texture and very good depth. If I use brown, once the brown dries up, it gives a little bit of hint of you can see mix of different colors, but at the same time it looks very monochromatic. So I'm going to mix two color, and I'm going to create a kind of a sepia gray or kind of brownish gray. And I'm not going to use a single Payne's gray. I'm going to use this pigment, and I'm going to create a single color. And because I love the texture of it, it has a lot, this pigments has a lot of depth, so it creates a very nice texture on the paper. So I'm going to use them, and you will see why it is so different from just using a normal Payne's gray. So so that's what it is. Then also I'm going to study the value study with a kind of a single color. I'm not going to use red, blue, yellow, or specific color for the sky or the water. I'm not going to paint the sky blue or golden, the color for the sunset or the sunrise, the water, so everything will have a similar color. That is what the purpose for monochromatic value study. Why? Because when we study value with a single color, with a very limited color palette, it doesn't distract us, because with the color mixing and everything, and it helps us to focus on the basic, on the primary things of the painting, the structures. It helps us to understand the painting better. That's why value study, thumbnail work is very important before you start your main painting. I always say that do at least 2-3 value study and understand your painting, declutter your thoughts, and then start the main painting. So as I said, this exercise teaches us how we see the structures, and it helps us to see where there are light values, there are dark values, how they are contrasting with each other. Not we are not getting distracted with the colors, right? So that is the purpose of doing monochromatic value study. So before starting this, let me explain the painting a little bit. So whenever I start any painting, I ask myself 3 things. I love to work with lights. Watercolor is a medium where light is something really complement this medium, right? So I ask 3 things: where is the light coming from, where are my biggest light shape, and where I'll have my darkest dark. So it's all about connecting the shapes, keeping a connection in the painting, not just doing it in scatter. That is very important. And the bridge, okay, let me just explain it in that way. When we're seeing a subject like this, if you squint your eyes, to see the bigger shapes, because we are not going to paint every small details, right? Because I'm not doing something like hyperrealism kind of work. So when you want to focus more on light, more on shapes, so how we simplify the subject? Because sometimes as a beginner you might say that this place is this area very complicated, you get intimidated by this kind of subject because it's very complicated. Oh my god, how I'm going to do this? There are so many things. So how we simplify it? You just need to squint your eyes and see the bigger picture. Think like a child, like how see like a child, think like a child, because a child cannot see. I always say it is like a child's point of view. So you have to see it from a child point of view. A child cannot see or understand complex scenes, so they always simplify it according to their intelligence. So that this time when you're seeing a very complex subject like this, where there are a lot of things are happening and we actually don't know how to do it, how to go ahead, then squint your eyes and just see the bigger picture. So once you squint your eyes, if right now I'm squinting my eyes, I can just see very clear sky and faraway mountains, building that is almost merging into the background, a nice textured water, and there are a lot of things, boats maybe, and there are some people roaming around by the bank of the river, and some prominent this lamp post, and then this darkest part of here of the painting, and these are the darkest part of the darkest value of the painting. So I'm just focusing on the shape. So once you focus on the shape and the light, you will understand you don't need to focus on anything else. Things will come out. In watercolor we don't paint the light, we protect the light. It is like sculpting the light, by painting the darks around it. And when we painting the dark, the intensity of the dark really matters, how you do it. So that's why it is not very, I'll not say it's very difficult, I'll not say it's very complex. It is very simple if you understand the process correctly, and if you go ahead with a very clear vision, right? So I have already done a basic sketch. Let me just zoom it a little bit. I have done the basic sketch. If you see my sketch, I hope it is properly visible to you. So if you see the sketch, I have simplified the sketch as much as possible. I have not did any drawing for the most complex part, because I'm going to do them directly. And I have just draw the building and the lamp post, the main fuse structure that is very much visible, the horizontal line, and that's it. Rest of the thing, I will go with the flow. It's not that I'm just going to blindly copy it. I might just use my memory from this place. I might use my that that moment of emotions, because watercolor is a very emotional thing for me, at least. So I don't blindly follow the subject, so I go with the flow. I go with my emotions, what I'm feeling that time. So I will try for you to do as much as similar possible, doing it here. I have done it here in this painting. So let's see how it goes. So but the basic things I kept it same, and very simple lines. You can see only lines, very simple lines, and that's it. No small details, no minute details. So this is, I'm doing a demonstration, that's why I still did it. When you do thumbnail studies, thumbnail studies are small studies, maybe this much. So you have to be very quick. You just want to declutter your thoughts, you want to have a clear vision. So the quicker you are, the less time you give your mind to think, the better your thumbnail will be, because the thumbnail should be focusing more on light and structure, connecting the dots, connecting the shapes, not about painting each and everything or drawing each and everything or each and every detail. That's not what thumbnail does for, right? So let's start. Let me take out my brushes and let's start. So if I talk about a little bit about the mood of the painting, since I already told you, in this painting I worked with a very limited range of tones to create, like a kind of a misty atmosphere. Most of the background, if you can see, most of the background sits in the light values. And I did it in such a way that the architecture melts in the sky. It's very, it's just the silhouette, right? I grouped the bridge and the reflection into mid-tones and save the darkest dark, marks for the figures, for this areas, for the boats, so many things happening in the bank of the river. Maybe there were some birds are there. So I had left it on the assumption of the viewers. I didn't go into the minute details. I just followed the shape. So this contrast, contrast pull the viewer into the scene. The light is very diffused. There are no sharp shadows, and only very gentle transitions from light to dark. The light is also very soft. If you see, it's a very soft, gentle light. No, not like a very harsh light. And this is what right now I'm aiming for this monochromatic value study. Clarity of light, not color, clarity of the structure, and understanding the 3 steps of values: light, mid-tone, and the darkest tone. So let's start. Oops. So as I said that I'm going to use this Rockwell mineral self-evolving watercolors. So my palette already is having some of the colors left. So since I have to work with mostly with the gray, So I'm just going to mix all of them, and I'm going to create a gray. So I'm not going to take any new color because this is enough for me. I'll just activate them by spraying some water. So I'm going to use mostly this black velvet brush, and also this I don't know if you can see it, mop brush. This is number 4 because this is not a very big paper. This is a A5, so I'm using number 4. The brush is from Panda. It's a good Indian made brush, made in India brush, but it's a very good quality brush. And for the detailing works, I'm going to use some calligraphic brushes. These are the brushes that I'm going to use. So that's it. I think the paper I'm using is it's Lana Aquarelle. This is a Lana Aquarelle paper. Let me show you. This is the Lana Aquarelle paper. This is 100% cotton, and very good quality paper, 100% cotton. And this is rough, not the cold pressed. This is a cold pressed papers poster, but this is not a cold pressed paper. This is a rough paper, and this is cotton, 100% cotton, cold pressed, a rough paper. The Lana Aquarelle papers are famous for their whiteness, and whenever I work with lights, mostly in watercolor, I normally work with subjects which is a lot of light, so I love to use their paper because they're super white, but then again it's a personal choice. So this is the painting. So let's start. So this is going to be a little kind of sepia kind of color, not completely gray. But since these are self-evolving colors, this gives a very nice depth and texture. And it looks like I have mixed some other colors, but which I actually didn't. So I'm going to do the first wash. So my painting here will be like clearly structured into 3 families, right? So light, mid-tones and dark tones. Light will be the sky, the water and this architecture. So I'm going to keep it very delicate, the sky and the water, and this I want to be very luminous. Mid-tone will be this area, the bridge, the bridge one, little bit of this side of the water and the reflection. Basically I'm going to connect the lighter tone and the mid-tone. And for the dark, I'm going to do the solid structures like the lampshades, the boats, this pole, and the human figures. You need to understand that if everything is dark, then nothing is dark, and if everything is light, then nothing is light. So you need to understand how to balance the contrast by painting the light right and by painting the dark right, so I save my darker values for the closest elements, and as it is going far, I'm pushing it back, so they are going to be lighter. In watercolor, we start from light and we go towards dark, right? So let's start. So here I am starting with very diluted mixture, almost like tinted water. This is, you may think that this is just a simple plain water, but this is a very light tinted water. Nicely making the paper wet, because I really want the color to spread nicely without any kind of hard edges, because here we don't want any hard lines. This is going to set the atmosphere or the mood or the ambience of the entire painting, and I want it very soft and luminous. So it is not about the detail, it is all about placing the lightest shadow and shapes, and just creating the foundation of the painting, connecting with the atmosphere. Now I'm going to do the second wash. You can see it's like little purplish. I don't know how much justice my camera is doing. So right now I'm not referring any picture, I'm just doing it from my memory, and because I have already done it twice or thrice in my demonstration in my sessions, and every time I paint it very differently. So right now I don't want to just blindly follow what I did last time. I want this to dry up a little bit, so that once I add the faraway mountain or that shape, so it doesn't just bloom into the background. And you should always check it with the back of your finger, not like this, because this area has a lot of oil and dirt sometimes, and also the fingerprints, and this is the safer way to touch very lightly and understand how much the paper is wet. It is too cold, that means the paper is too wet. So right now it is very cold, and my room is also very cold, so I think it is going to take some time to dry. So what I can do this part first, and then I can come back to that. To do this part, I'm going to change my brush. I'll take a small brush, and I'm going to wet the brush properly. And I think, unlike the previous painting of mine, I'm going to do a little bit of dry brush technique here to manipulate the light a little bit more. So I'm adding a little more water to my mixture because I don't want it to be very, I want this to be lighter than the sky. And I'm using the body of the brush. And I'm doing a dry brush, and since my paper is also rough, so this is going to complement, this technique is going to complement, the paper is going to complement this technique, and it is going to help me to create this beautiful texture. So when I want really good texture all over the area, so I'm using the body of the brush. And where I want a little bit of depth, I'm going to use the tip of the brush. You should know how much to do it, not overdoing it at all. Always remember, watercolor looks 2-3 shades lighter after it dries. So most of the time people complain that my watercolor looks very dull, my watercolor looks very light. Why, ma'am, why your watercolor looks so bright, mine is so dull? That means your ratio of your water and pigment, it really it decides how your watercolor is going to look. So if it is looking right now like this, it is going to look lighter once the paper will be dry. So always keep it in mind while putting the mixture on the paper, and with experience you will know then how much pigment to use for certain kind of saturation. Again, I'm using the body of the brush for a better effect. And by this time it is dried as much as I want, not completely dry, but I don't want this to dry completely. Because I want a little bit of mystic effect, not a proper hard line for this area. It should look like it is merging with the sky. Very nice soft presence. I'm going to blend it because I certainly don't want any kind of hard lines here. So this is, you can say, the second layer of the painting, and I'm setting the mid-tones for the structures, whatever the structures the background has. This is where the form begin to turn in space. So you can see that I'm just grouping the areas together instead of breaking them into little pieces and start doing minute details. I'm just doing very big structure in the simplest way possible, right? And that will help me to keep my background gentle, even in layers. I'm not going to, I mean, each of the layers is not going to fight with each other. Each of the layers is going to complement each other. So now I'm going to start from here, and I'm going to upwards, because I directly don't want to go up, because the paper is still wet and I don't want the shape to, like, there is a chance of losing the shape of the architecture, which I don't want. So I'm a little careful while doing it. You can see I'm just focusing on the big shape, not even thinking about it, not giving my mind to think. Watercolor is all about controlling the water and your mind. How much control you have in your mind and how much you listen to it. Because our mind has a tendency of overthinking, overdoing everything. Watercolor teaches you not to do that. I'm going to lift off a little bit from here with the tissue. Adding a little bit of architectural shape. It's very simple, but sometimes simple things are the hardest things to do. Sometimes things which looks very simple are the hardest things to do. This is not, or maybe it comes with practice, because as a beginner we have a tendency to because we are not able to unlearn what we see. We are not able to unlearn not to do the details, and that's where the problem starts. So it is very easy and simple to do it, but the hardest part is to convince your mind to do the simple thing. I don't know if it's making sense to you. So I think I'm good with it. I don't want to overdo it. Now I'll come to the bridge area, and I'll do it as the same way I did the water. but this is little darker than that. And by doing that, at the same time, I'm going to add the darker areas here a little bit. So I'm adding just some shapes. It can be some birds, very far away birds. I'll come back to it later as well. Now I'm going to move into my richest mixture. Still it is going to be fluid, but it will have much more pigment. It is going to be the darker part of the painting, so these areas, and these are the areas, these are the elements, these are the anchor of my painting. Without them the painting will not be complete, or it will not look how I want it to be look. So I'm going to sharpen some edges here, and we'll have some soft edges and hard edges here, and I'll see, and you will see how once I do this area, how this thing will push the background a little more farther, and how the contrast will make it entire thing luminous. Dark values are very, very precious in watercolor, and you have to spend them very carefully. Too much of it can really, really cost you a lot. So I'm just going to create the darker mixture. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use less less water and a little bit of more color, more pigment. So now I'm going to do the darker areas. So this is how it looks, but I want this to be a little more intense. So there are few boats are here. So I didn't draw them. I'm going to just doing them directly. This is again black velvet silver brush number 4. This is the liner brush or the calligraphic, whatever you say, whatever you call it. There are some faraway boats, and obviously this will be a little lighter. Just very simple shape, you don't have to do all the efforts. Just leave it some for the viewers to guess and do the assumptions. Leave it to the imagination. So again, this is going to look lighter. Always remember, after it dries, I'm going to do it in layer by layer. Not going to add the dark just once in one go. So I'm going to be very random and quick here. As I said, I'm not going to give chance to my mind to think about it. Here I am the master, and I want my mind to think as much as I want it to think. Just following the shape here, not going into too much of details. Here I'll take a break of 2-3 seconds. I'll step back and I'll just want to see how my painting is looking right now. It is very important to change your view. It gives a clarity that if you are going on the correct directions or not. Again, I'm squinting my eyes and just seeing the bigger shapes here. I'm going to take a little stronger brush. Going back to this area, just want to give it a little bit of definition. And then blending it nicely. Just adding some very minor detail. This is the entrance. And coming back to this now, again to the darker areas. Here I am going to be very miser when I am using the water. More pigment, less water. Connecting the shapes with each other. Just few dots, very suggestive hint for some birds. Seagulls, you can say. I love drawing this poles. They add so much depth to the entire painting. Some of them are very near, so they're like really close, so they're dark. Some stuffs are there, we don't know what it is, but there are few stuff maybe related to the boats. We don't need to know what it is, we just know there are something. So here I'm actually just creating the darkest, this is going to be the anchor of my painting, the darkest dark. And here you can say that I'm just focusing a little bit, very little bit on the detailing. see that this is the darkest one here. And then there is another one, the far away. This is not properly dried, so I'll come back to it. So let me just define a little bit here. I'm just going to add not many, but to 1 or 2 people here. Maybe there are some people around here. Very suggestive and this pole is very important because this is really going to push the background further. A very sharp contrast with the background. I want this figures to be a little more darker and Here I'm not going to do much of details, just it went little tilted, so just want to fix it a little bit. Again, just redoing the figures because I want them to be the darkest dark. I might want to add another figure here, so it'll just the split of the figure. And I think we're almost done. you know I'm just not adding anything or much more, because sometimes topping is the most disciplined part. Monochrome studies are not about copying details or making it perfect. It's just that you're organizing well your subject, you're organizing well your light and structure and the value. It's not one layer is not eating the other layer. It should complement, and each layer should complement each other. So if you can solve a scene like this in one color, you'll be able to solve it in any color palette. So I think I'm done here, and I'm pretty much liking the way it is looking right now. So I hope you enjoyed the session, and today it was not about finishing it as like a perfect painting. It is about learning to see the light first, the shape second, the details last. So it is more about learning how to study your subject, how to study your painting in terms of value, in terms of shapes, in terms of turning a complex area into the most simplest process. So that's what my purpose was for today's live session. So I hope you have enjoyed the session. If you have any question, you can write it in the comment box, and I'm going to post it on the group main feed. It will be on the featured section, and we'll be soon back with another topic in this series called Watercolor Fundamentals. Look at my fingers. Okay, see you everyone. Thank you for joining, and people who couldn't join, I got a lot of messages that the time zone is not not matching with everyone. So again, I'm reiterating that this is going to be posted in the group on the featured section, so you can always go and watch it there. And if you have any question, you can always DM me, or you can write it on the comment section as well. So I hope you have enjoyed the session, and I'm really looking forward to do the next one. So if you have any topic in your mind that you want me to cover in the next session that comes under Watercolor Fundamentals for the beginners, you are most welcome to share it with me. Thank you so much. Have a great day or great evening from wherever you're joining.